Can everybody see me? I think my volume of the music is too loud, so hold on. Oh, I stopped it now. I don't want to stop it. Hi, Joy, Blessed Life. Thank you for coming on. Hi, Jaden. Thank you for coming in. Kirsten. Can everybody hear me? Thank you for coming in. I know people were saying the other day they had trouble hearing me. So I'll be half screaming to everybody. I thought I saw Scratching PPA here. I saw Sam. Hi. Michael's Adventure. Thank you for coming in. I hope everybody's been having a great day. I am trying to get everything focused now. Oh, you hear me? Okay, good. Hi, Life Amanda. Thank you for coming in. Who did I miss? I missed somebody coming in. Hi, Thrifty Angela. Thank you for coming in. I'm doing good. So, I don't know, as everybody knows, that we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do an interview on Kevin from TubaChat. And I'm going to ask him some questions. And then afterwards, we'll do like a Q&A for everybody to, ask questions for him. The purpose of this series is to talk about the channel and everybody get to know what the channel is all about. And then this way at the end, he'll go ahead and he'll answer questions about how, all the technical questions that everybody has about, helping with your live streams, helping with your channel, things along that line. And he'll answer that after we go ahead and, I ask him a few questions myself. Hi, 345 Barry. Thank you for coming in. Hey, House of X Entertainment. Thank you for coming in. Hi, Just a Praying Mom. How are you? If nobody knows anybody, definitely go ahead and make new friends. So I put the link down for TubaChat to get. It's in the, let me see if I can pin it. Right. I'm not so great doing this. So I think I pinned it. Oh, I got myself out of my own thing. Hold on. I have technical difficulties, you guys. Hi, Mama Glow Up. Thank you for coming in. Seth Andre Davey, thank you for coming in. I was just at your live earlier today, trying to get in on everybody's channel and show my support there. Hey, Corinne. Are you driving home from Costco? See, you get me on your lives and you're always driving. I'm always driving, and now see, happened to you. Hi, Romeo Got Game. Welcome in. Have Cheetah will view. How are you? Yes, Dorothy, Angela, it definitely would not be live without technical difficulties. I think the last time I had to have Corinne help me put the link down for to get in. I'm checking to see. I'm going to see if I could do it this way. Hold on. All right. Hopefully TubaChat will see that. Yeah, you know what it is, Joy Blessed Life? I'm using a phone. My computer that I had, it is still, my sister's still trying to bring it in to go get fixed. So that's why I have to do everything on the phone, and it doesn't look right. All right. I'm going to bring Kevin on right now. Hold on. Did I bring him on or did I take him off? Hold on. Right. Yeah, Kevin is hiding in the basement and I'm trying to figure it out.
Hey, hey, hey.
All right, I got you.
Yes,
It's
thank
so
you very
hard to
much.
be on. Thank you for coming in and being my first interview.
Yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes. So as I was telling everybody, I'm going to go ahead and ask you a couple of questions first, and then afterwards we'll do like the Q&A. So,
Okay.
all right. So I guess first thing off that I wanted to ask you is that what motivated you to do your channel?
So thank you for asking. So what actually happened, I told that story just for a quick second in TuberChat today, but 4 years ago, most people don't know that I work construction 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I have a real job and I go and do that. That's why I'm almost never around, right? And um, I work just with a guy with a truck. It's just the two of us. But what happened is one winter, 4 years ago or so, we were spending a lot of time watching YouTube. And I said, wow, this is like maybe something we should be doing. And we both have history. He's like somewhat of a performer. I was a DJ for a long, long time. I said, we can't be bad at this. We have to at least be good. So maybe we should try. So we watched for a few months and learned from a lot of big channels like Think Media and Roberto Blake and Sonny Lenarduzzi and these other ones. And in April, we started. And I said, let's just film today. We'll film our work. If we use it, we use it. If we don't, we don't. So I started by running a channel for him, which now he has 3 channels. I run those for him as well, whatever. And then as I started my own a couple of years later. So TuberChat is only a year old, and my channel is about a year older than that. And now, as you know, I've started a 3rd one as well. But that's what started it, was from watching other YouTubers and then being inspired. And I have been a social media marketing guy for a long, 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 long time. So it felt natural to come over to YouTube.
All right. So on your social media, as a marketer, what were you doing beforehand? I mean, what?
Particularly websites. So for argument's sake, let's say I was there in the beginning, right? When we had Windows 95 and people started making websites, and I found that fascinating. I thought it was going to be the coolest thing. So I started doing that, but along with websites, eventually comes email. And then we had MySpace and Friendster and eventually Facebook and now Instagram, and every other month it feels like there's another one that we've got to get on. But I love that stuff, right? So I know that, we talk about possibly being addicted to the stuff and possibly spending too much time on it and this and that. But if somebody's going to start a small business, it's a great way to advertise for free, because even though we're renting the space, let's say for free from Facebook, from Instagram, from YouTube, the audience essentially is ours. And therefore, when you go to do something else, you have a bit of a head start. So for instance, if I had, let's say, 1,300 people on Facebook or so, and another page with another 1,200 people, as soon as I start a YouTube channel, I'm able to say, hey, come check out what I'm doing on YouTube. Now, they're not all going to come, but the ones who like YouTube will come. And this is how you can cross promote. And this is how this started. Like, so a long, long time ago, again, with websites. And then you're forced. I used to do websites for a lot of clients. They say, can you do me a Facebook page? Can you make me an Instagram account? Can you make me a MySpace page and stuff like this? And that's how that kind of turned into all of this.
Oh, that's cool. Background behind that. Yeah. So what, I know you got your 3 channels. I know you mostly are found you from TubaChat. So I always
Right.
call you TubaChat. So
Yeah.
you have 3 other channels. So if you could tell us a little bit about what TubaChat specifically is, and then what the other 2 channels are too.
Okay, thank you for that. So TuberChat is meant as a meeting place. Most people would call it a growth stream. That's absolutely fine. That's what it is, right? We go there for the purpose of growing our channels. So after a few years of experience on YouTube, I was introduced to the small YouTuber community. Vern's Junk Closet, I see, is in the chat here. She's my YouTube BFF. We're together often. We've done lots of panels and things like that as well. And when I met her, it was originally the Hoops Family Network. That was the first channel to introduce me to this stuff. When I saw the generosity in some of these creators, like Vern and other people connected to her, like Hoops Family and basically their whole following, I was inspired to say, hey, I can probably do one of these growth streams, but because I understand marketing, I will put the focus on the relationships between the creators. And therefore, we'll be able to truly grow. And TuberChat has become, even though I didn't know exactly what it would become, starting, it was a guess, but it has become exactly what I had imagined. And it's great now because we have so many creators connected. We've grown these friendships. As I've been talking about our interview coming up for the last few days, I've been saying, we're going to have an interview, but it will probably be more of a discussion because I've known Michelle for a little while now. And, it really does start to feel like family. A lot of, forgive me for sidetracking, but a lot of people will mention, why is it that people on YouTube are willing to support me more than my in real life friends and family sometimes? And, I think that that's just human nature, but it really does start to feel like true friendships and eventually even family, some of the things that people do for you. Vern has already sent, gifts to me. We truly are friends. We spend hours on the phone together. And rely on each other for many different things. I've got other creators that I talk to regularly, as well. Scratch and PPA and Michael's Adventures are 2 creators who seem to be there for me everywhere that I go. And when you look out into your life and you wonder about some of the people who you wonder why they're not there, I promise you're going to be able to find lots of people on YouTube who will be there for you. And that just comes into the same things we talk about. If you're a giving person and you're willing to support others and you truly enjoy it, then you'll find that coming back. And I've been unbelievably blessed. As you see, that's why TuberChat works. And so, forgive all the sidetracking, but TuberChat is a meeting place where creators of YouTube channels can come together for the purpose of supporting each other, regardless of our niche, regardless of your theme. We're there to support each other as creators. And then hopefully we enjoy all of the content that we end up seeing. I know I certainly do, right? I follow a lot of channels I would have never otherwise searched for, right? And we joke about that on TuberChat regularly. But these are the people who become friends and they start supporting you in more ways than you ask for, and so that's basically what TuberChat has become. So it's great. I hope anybody that's not already connected over there absolutely will. Then I just have a personal channel where I do a lot of experimenting and I film, whatever I think about that comes up. As a matter of fact, I'll take the opportunity to promote. Today is record store day. So I was up at 6 in the morning today to go to the record store, and I still buy vinyl records. I was a DJ for a long time in my adult life, and I will eventually do a video of that because I just like it, right? It won't get a ton of views. It's not meant to make money and all that. Actually, it costed a fortune, but
Yeah,
it's something that I enjoy. So that when I'm on TuberChat talking to people about, how to make a video, if people are looking for video ideas, take something you like, put it on a table and talk about it for 10 minutes. That's a video. And then I say, here, let me show you. And that's the kind of stuff that's on my personal channel as well as some live streams. And then I just recently started a copyright-free music channel. So all of the music that's available on TuberChat in the background is now available that everybody can use in their YouTube videos. And we have a 24-hour live stream virtually running over there so that people can let that run. Let's say you're doing a live stream and you need music, that there's no vocals, it can just run in the background. And I just want to make that stuff available to the TuberChat family, and then it will expand beyond, right? So I'm getting a ton of support over there too. So thank you for asking. And that's the 3 channels I have.
Yeah. No, I love the music channel. I'm always over there. And I in some of my videos, and it's like, okay, but I had it on a few minutes ago, but I think I had it too loud.
Yeah, yeah. I appreciate all that support too. It really is kind of fantastic, and I also use it to learn. Right. So when I do work for other people, they all understand I'm charging them, like a reasonable amount of money, right? Not a fortune or anything, but a reasonable amount of money. But they know that I'm taking all the knowledge that I learned from their projects and sharing it for free on the YouTube, on the TuberChat, family community, on our channel, and interviews like this, because they also understand that as I gain more knowledge and more inspiration from creators in the TuberChat community and outside, I'm going to use all that knowledge to improve their channels as well, right? And we do fantastically, to be honest with you. But I'll give you an example of something we're learning on the music channel right now. So we have 160 subscribers over there, which I'm very, very grateful for. And the hours are already over 1,500, which is just unbelievable. It's the fastest I've seen so far because of a lot of experimenting, a lot of help from some of the people like yourself and other people who've come through the TuberChat community to help us out with that channel over there, grind out the watch hours and hang out and greet people and have conversation and stuff. And then as well, what we do is we knock the live stream out every 12 hours. So YouTube will save your live stream if it's less than 12 hours, and therefore you get full credit for all that watch time. That's why the hours over there really explode. So I hope everybody can take a little bit of inspiration from that and understand, if you're somebody who's still looking towards monetization, or if you're thinking about a second channel and want to try something like that. I've had some help from Two Pineapples, as a mutual friend of ours from the TuberChat community. They do a 24-hour live stream. Spotless Calm is somebody that I talk to. They do an 8-hour live stream every day. And by drawing information from each other and truly helping each other, instead of looking at like competition, we actually are able to grow faster. So, these are the kinds of things we learn over there. And I'm hoping that everybody can draw inspiration and knowledge from this as well.
Yes, I've been to some other, before you, people suggest other channels that did the connecting. To me, I found it was more of a sub for sub, which that's not what you want. I've met so many really good friends in TuberChat itself that, we're constantly commenting back and forth. They're in my lives, I'm in their lives. And that's really what you want. And that's why TuberChat is such a great channel to join.
Right. So again, like there's other great live streams out there that are doing a similar thing, right? Happy Lux is a friend, Meldon Amr's a friend, James Gype is a friend. They all work a little bit differently, and there's great ones out there. Vern's Junk Closet does a lot of the same thing. She allows people to connect in her live streams, and sometimes even gets as far as to do like a specific growth stream. Right here, let me look at your channels, let me talk about things to help you and let people grow. But it's from Vern's Junk Closet and a couple of others that I understood the system, because if you think about it, I was new to it too. Right? A year and a half ago, I was new to it. And it's only from doing that with my personal channel that I understood, hey, this is where TuberChat's idea kind of came from. And then the same people who I was drawing the inspiration from got behind me and said, we'll help you. You know what I mean? Happy Lux, for instance, is a dear friend. And this is a creator who I would, message offline on Instagram or Facebook and say, hey, when are you going to do another live stream so I could come in? And he would say, well, when do you want me to do one? I'll do one whenever you want to help you. And I couldn't believe that, right? That's really something else, right? I say, I'm going to do a live stream just like yours. And he says, I'll help you build it, right? So that's the kind of inspiration I'm talking about, and the generosity of the creators. So,
and that's what you want. There's enough love to go around, and there's millions watching YouTube, and somebody, even though I'm doing unboxings, they might like my style unboxings, or if they see somebody else, they might like their type of unboxing.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep.
So let me ask you a question. What are the hurdles that you've starting your channel? What are the hurdles that you have overcome, or that you've seen starting a like yours?
So I'll keep most of the stuff positive. We all understand trolling and the trouble that can have. If you haven't had it by the time you get 1,000 subscribers, it's coming by the time you hit 2, right? So you have to try to let that stuff bounce off of you. I find ignoring it helps. So we'll just leave that at that. But if you think about this, I started with 0. I was not involved in the growth streams for a couple of years. Before finding them, I was only following YouTubers with millions of views and, just watching things that everybody watches. And starting the channels, I instinctively knew from the knowledge that I gained from the bigger channels like Roberto Blake and Think Media and video creators and Sonny Lenarduzzi and all. I've got a list of about 10 that I still continue to follow a bit, right, to keep up with everything. And I knew instinctively that if you just put a video a week out, one piece of quality content, right? And it's not up to me to decide what's quality. It's not up to Michelle. It's not up to anybody else. It's up to each individual creator for their channel. But if you can do that consistently, that's enough to make your channel grow. You will get views. You will instinctively get better, and you will improve, and eventually luck will come by when it's your turn and take a couple of your videos and fly with them. You don't have to call it luck. That's what I tend to call it. But it happens on every channel that I touch if they just do that one thing. So it's not so much of a hurdle, right? I constantly look at the analytics because I like that stuff. I'm absolutely a nerd and a geek. So I like numbers, I like charts, I like graphs, and analytics are my thing. I look at it all the time, right? And this can tell a story for you. So as opposed to hurdles and things that hurt you, what I'll tend to do is experiment with different, let's say, types of thumbnails, different ways of beginning and ending videos, things with intros. I know we all love intros, but the sad truth about it is that your intro should be very, very short, or maybe not use one at all. The analytics will tell you. My answers are not always right for every creator. You have to look in your own analytics, and your audience may enjoy a intro more than mine, but I lose a lot of people from having an intro. So that's something to think about. So we learn as we go, and we experiment with different things. And I've been very lucky because I have it's not so many, but I do have a few other channels that I've run or consulted for that I've been able to practice with. So by the time TubaChat came around, I'd already had my hands on 5, 6, 7, however many channels it was. So it was easier. I didn't have a lot of hurdles that I had to overcome because I already was able to, first of all, learn from those big YouTubers. And then secondly, have a lot of experience experimenting with other channels before I even started my own, right?
Yes, that definitely helps. I learned a lot from everybody else. I've changed things up even on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
I started having my son's channel, his videos on my channel, and realized, oh no, you got to be separate. So it's like you learn things as you get to know other people and give you good advice. So to grow.
Yeah.
What would you say has been, and this is an off question, what has been your most embarrassing moment when you were on TubaChat?
Oh, on TubaChat? Oh. Okay, there's probably a few. We're on episode number 222 today, right? So there's been a lot. So I've done a couple of, I'll give you a couple. I've done a couple of things. Everybody who's in there knows that I have this horrible habit of not unmuting my mic. So I come back from a break and I start talking and you can't hear anything. And I do it constantly, and I'm trying to get better at that. And, even friends have helped me. They've said, just put a note on your computer. And I'm like, I don't need a note. I can do it. And then I never do it, right? So one time I thought I muted the mic and I didn't, and I blew my nose. And when I do that, I make this incredible sound like a cartoon character, and it's loud and everything else. And a couple of people noticed, and they asked right away when I came back. They're like, "Did you just blow your nose?" So that was an embarrassing moment. And then one of our friends caught me one day. We joke, and you see TV commercials about this with so many Zoom calls and things. But one day I was like, uncomfortable. It gets hot, it gets cold, and things like that. And Kristen had said to me, like, well, why don't you just, wear your lounging pants? They're like pajama pants, right? Be comfortable and this and that. And I did, but I got up. So sometimes I'll get up, like this. And one of my friends kind of messaged me and said, hey, nice red flannel Santa pajamas. And I figure most people don't notice that, but it is a small embarrassment. But it's funny, right? You have to laugh at yourself at those moments, right?
See, I always say when you're still muted, I always put in the comments, he's yelling at the computer again.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like the computers they don't like me.
No.
So now, if you had to suggest to somebody who's starting out or wants to start a channel, what would your main advice be for them?
So making videos or live streams and your channel is important, but my advice is always that you must be part of the community and you must be supporting other people. We have to remember that YouTube is a social media platform, right? Whether we want to call it that or not. So there's conversation there. And even I don't do the best job of conversating. Most of you have seen comments that I leave, and I don't mean to be so generic, but when I'm working as fast as I can, I tend to say things like, hey, keep up the good work, looking forward to your next video. It's not that I don't mean it. It's just that I've said this 1,000 times now, so I don't know how many times you could say it differently, right? There's a lot of copy paste and stuff like that. But when you're out truly supporting people, you can do a good job of keeping the conversation going. So one of the things you'll notice in me is I'll leave comments, and I strive to get better as well, right? One of the things is identifying your weaknesses and then trying to improve on them. I will leave comments that end a conversation. You know what I mean? Thanks for your comment. See you tomorrow. And that's it. So it's not like I gave you incentive to keep the conversation going, but that can really help. It will help you get noticed, because if you think about all the things you wish people would do on your videos and on, leaving comments in your live streams and things like this, if you go out and do that for other people, it will come back for you. Now, I'm a perfect example of this, because when you look at any of my channels, you'll see the kind of support that's coming in. And you just know right away, well, it must be because this guy has been out at all of their channels supporting them as well, right? We have lots of friends in the chat that are perfect examples of this. I speak highly of Scratch and PPA all the time. He's a dedicated moderator. Michael's Adventures as well. They both have been with TubaChat for a long time, and they both support creators much, much, much more than they expect to be supported. But for that reason, they both gain unbelievable support coming back to them, right? Michael's Adventures will soon hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm sure that Scratch and PPA will not be too far behind, but you're in his premieres with me as well. And his chat flies faster than TuberChat. I was talking about that today. It's unbelievable. How can somebody with 600 subscribers now, how can a channel like that have a chat that goes faster than somebody with 2,500? It's because of the creator behind the channel.
No, it is amazing. Pete is everywhere. I'm trying to get to everybody's place too. I to comment back on the comments that everybody leaves me, and then I go visit their channel. It's a lot of work. So how do you do it? How do you keep up with everybody?
So it's impossible, and keeping up with everybody literally is impossible. Now, for anybody that's been to TuberChat, you'll see I follow thousands of channels now, because not everybody subscribes back to you, and YouTube takes subscribers and everything else. So you can bet that between my different channels, I'm subscribed to thousands of people. I have bells on for most of them. And it's just impossible as we grow and follow more and more creators to support everybody as much as we all might like. You can't watch 1,000 videos a week. I just don't know if anybody can, right? You can't show up in that many live streams. But what you can do is just support everybody as much as you possibly can. Now, I do a lot more busy work than is probably necessary when it comes to the TuberChat community and things like that. So I take notice of like who's helping with the copyright free music channel now, who's showing up and who's helping so that I can support them as well. Of course, as you're monetized, you want to take care of your super chatters and your members because they are supporting you financially. You want to at least give back the support that they need to help them get monetized as well. And then, you know, there's a lot of people. TuberChat has an unbelievable number of people who come and leave right away. You might be surprised to know that, but probably half of the channels that ever actually click on a TuberChat live stream are gone because it's, you know, I consider myself a decent marketer, but I'm throwing such a wide net that I'm getting so many people. A lot of people either might not like me or might not like it or may not have seen that before and not understand, or, you know, for any number of reasons they don't stay. Half the channels stay, and then we have some that stay for 5 minutes. We have some that stay for 2 hours. Right? It's all in between. So I take notice of all that stuff as best I can. I'm not saying I catch everything. I'm just saying I try, right? Therefore, what I'm able to do is, like, for instance, let's say after the weekend, I will make a playlist of videos of all the people who super chatted over the weekend so that I can go back and make sure I at least hit one video for each of them. Right? And that really helps. And I know they appreciate it. One thing I can tell everybody right now is what people love more than almost anything is being shared on your community tab. So I wasn't doing it a lot in the beginning of TuberChat when I first got the 1,000 subscribers because I wanted to see how am I going to do this, because I like to come up with a plan and try to stick to it forever, right? And so at first I wasn't sharing a lot. Then when I decided to do it, now I share 6 to 8 times a day. One of the posts is for me, and the rest of the posts are for everybody else. And it can go from supporters, somebody who maybe had impact in a TuberChat live stream, somebody who was noticeable, somebody who came and followed me on other channels, somebody who reached out on Instagram or somewhere else to share information, or just some of the people who've been there so often. You know as well, like, you happen to be a member on the TuberChat channel, so I share one of your videos probably at least once every other week. But that's a system that I keep in mind. Like I want to do things to thank everybody. So whether I'm right or not about how my intentions are perceived by everybody, what I plan and what I wish is that what I do for my members, for instance, is a thank you. It's not, if you become a member, I will do this for you. It's because you're becoming a member, I will do this other thing for you. And for all members, I do things, for instance, that are over and above what I promise. So I always make sure I fulfill promises, but then as well, I go a little bit farther. So like, for instance, on the TuberChat screen, you can see in the bottom corners, you will have slides, not only for members, but, or for all members, but you'll have like, gold and silver members on one side, but every member gets that, but I don't say it in the memberships. It's not part of it. It's not, if you become a member, I'll do this for you. It's, I'm so thankful that you have done this for me. Let me give you as much extra as I can,
Which is good. I appreciate it very much. But I mean, I do find that I see a couple of new people that do come in, and like you said, they stay only for a little bit. But I guess the one thing would be, I know for me being always into that, I could always, reach out to those and tell them, hey, take your time, make your friends, come back one other time, let people know that you're there and you're not, just for sub. You're going to make great friends.
Right. Not the other thing too is like, so it's a thought, not just for myself, but for anybody who live streams or is thinking about it. There are people who will support you, but they will do things that you're not expecting. So for instance, if somebody can't stay in a TuberChat live stream, they got to do dishes or go somewhere or something else, they might come in, say hello, but keep the volume off. Right? And there's many other reasons why people might have the volume off on a live stream. We all wish that people wouldn't, but it's absolutely a part of life. And I appreciate all support. I have a lot of people who, and we all do, anybody who live streams has people who watch and do not chat for a number of reasons. They could be watching on a television too, right? But if people are doing other things like cooking, washing dishes, doing things around the house, or any number of million things that they could be doing, they might have the volume off, but they're supporting you anyway, right?
Yeah.
So there's some of that. TuberChat itself always has brand new people. So that was set by like the track record of all the marketing that's been done from the beginning. Now there's always 10 to 20% new channels, sometimes more lately. Last weekend, we got this flush of new channels coming through. Some come by for 5 minutes and some end up staying. And so, you know, this is how the TuberChat community is built. So we have creators we haven't seen in 6 months. We have some people who've been there from the beginning. Kid Wonder's Life of Wonder is a creator I've been connected to for a year and a half. They were there today. Still growing his channel, over 122 episodes. He was featured on episode number 2 of TuberChat. So that shows you, you know, and then we have new people who come in today. Not everybody's going to like it. Not everybody can just come in for 2.5 hours just because it's convenient for me to stream either. So I appreciate every moment that everybody spends. There's any number of reasons why people can only stay for certain amounts of times, myself included. I wish I could watch everybody's live stream in full. I tend to stay for at least 15 minutes. I literally time it. You watch I joke about this, but you watch the timestamps, and I will head into a live stream. I'll be there for 16 minutes, and then I'll say, okay, listen, I got to split, or I'll just go. If there's a big conversation happening, I won't say, hey, everybody, I'm leaving, because I don't want to take away from the conversation, right? It doesn't help anybody for me to say I'm going. It's just polite. But since we all know each other so well, you know, I don't think anybody's going to have hard feelings by saying, oh, TuberChat's gone. You know where I am. I'm going to the next live stream. I'm splitting up the watch time, right? Trying to help everybody as much as I can.
Yeah. I find that I do that the same thing too. It's like, be in it for 2 hours or 8 hours, like
8 hours. Yeah. Yep.
I did that mostly so we could Sam kept on joking around that I do 6-hour lives, and we're like, okay, me and Corinne were like, watch, we're gonna do more than 6 hours.
Oh, unbelievable. I was surprised, but I'm not surprised by yourself, right? Like your personality and your ability and your desire to do it. It's just surprising for anybody to come out of the gate swinging like that, right? What we're talking about, for those of you who haven't already been to Makeup Mom and Son's channel, she only recently started live streaming about a month ago, and the first live stream went for 4.5 hours, which is unheard of. I typically, even when I live stream on my personal channel, I only plan for an hour. Many of my live streams only go for 45 minutes, but it's when I come on to an interview like this, I've been known to go on for 4 hours. But when I do it myself, I don't know if I've had more than a 2-hour live stream. So it's interesting.
Yeah, no, us Rosa women, we could just talk about a fly for about 4 hours. So yeah, that I don't have any problems with.
Yeah. There's a lot to live streaming too, right? For anybody that's thinking about doing it or has just started doing it, there's so much to it, right? And it's great if you are the kind of creator who continue to talk, and it's great when you have people engaging the conversation in the chat to help you keep it going as well, right? I always appreciate that.
Oh yes, there's so many people here today. I'm like, yay, hi everyone.
Thank you everybody for coming in, and I really appreciate everybody engaging the conversation for us right now as well.
Yes, everybody's talking with each other. Everybody, get to know everybody else, grab each other, become friends. That's what we're here for. So my question for you, I know for the music channel, because that's something different. How did you come up with the music or the graphics and everything else for the channel?
So graphics, because I've been doing websites and social media and all that for a long time, I do my own graphics, but I'm not any kind of an artist. So I am not artistic at all. I am creative. But more in a technical way, right? So I can open up Photoshop and I can do a lot of things in there, but I can't come up with beautiful things like that are ideas, right? I have to take at least inspiration, if not copy, from everywhere else. So the graphics came to be because I used to run parties for people. As a DJ, I eventually started running nightclubs and this and that, and I would rent out other nightclubs and run my own parties. but I had a big problem trying to hire talented people. So what I found is the most talented people I couldn't get to do anything because they're not motivated by money. They're motivated by their art, right? So I can't, it's hard to, and I don't want to, be too pushy about things, let's just say. And then when I found people really hungry to work, it's because they don't have the experience yet to be able to do what I want. So I found frustration. I said, I don't want to have to do this, right? But I will learn to do my own graphics. So I learned to do them good enough that I could get at least posters and flyers. I eventually started doing that for a lot of other people. It turned into a side gig, and for many years I'd make a little bit of money printing and publishing and all this other stuff. And so that's the graphic side of it. The music, because I was a DJ and in radio for many, many years, I just understand a bit of that business, right? The music business itself. And so what I've done is purchased a bunch of music that's called ghost production. And what happens is there are lots of talented musicians out there and people who enjoy making the music and may or may not know how to market it for themselves, or just love making music so much that they make too much and they don't even want to put it all out. So then they'll sell it to somebody like me who can then possibly take over and continue the production. But basically, I buy the music outright. So I own it all. I publish it legitimately on all other platforms, not really with an artist name. So that name, Thrive Together, for those of you who haven't seen it, it's just the words Thrive Together with no vowels. And that's the name of the channel. So when I publish the music, that's the name of the artist. But I'm very clear with everybody about saying this is a ghost artist. Now, I may do some full production of my own, but I haven't yet. So that music is just, it's just out there. And I intend on hiring many more producers. You'll notice in my descriptions and things, I say, we're looking for producers and things like this so that hopefully I can, pay some people that I'll end up knowing, right? Become some friends and get some exposure for some more artists there and things like that as well. But that's how that works. So anybody can buy rights to music or graphics or videos, or there's anything creative you can think of. There are people out there willing to make it, and then you can just buy the rights for it from them if you want to, right? So that's how that has started, and we'll see where it goes. It's an experimental project, and eventually I think I'll start producing my own music because I've come close enough in the past anyway, but we'll see.
That'd be that. I'm waiting to see that because So now, what's the? I know some people know this and some people don't know it. What's the with copyrighted music and non-copyrighted music?
Okay, so and thank you for asking. So I can clarify a little bit, and thank you, by the way, Scratch and PPA for mentioning the name and dropping the link as well. So when you talk about copyright-free music, it has to specifically have been published by somebody who intends for it to be non-copyright. So for instance, you have places like Epidemic Sound, you have some apps that have royalty-free music in there. Royalty-free, copyright-free, and all that stuff for us in YouTube essentially means the same thing. It means that you're free to use that music any way that you like. There may be a limitation on selling. You may not be able to say that you own that music and then sell it. So I do that because I bought the music outright that I now own and I'm able to give to everybody either for free or on the other platforms. Like you can purchase, high quality versions of it on Amazon or iTunes and this and that, but it's also on Spotify. We have the music channel. If you know how to steal it, you can steal it. It doesn't matter, right? That's what I want, is for everybody to be able to use it, because I already needed the music for TubaChat anyway. That's why this became an idea. So when we talk about copyright free and not copyright free, one of the things that we have to be conscious of, and it's not really out there if you're not in the music business, is the idea that music, like all art, changes hands over time. So you might have somebody who produces music, let's say in the 1990s, but by the year 2010, their contracts are up. Somebody else buys the rights and changes the the copyright nature of the video, of the music, forgive me, or the audio. So for instance, even on my own channel, I have put up a lot of music that is not copyright free. So I have copyright claims, and what that means is those artists, like for instance Jennifer Lopez or Justin Timberlake, I've done remixes for, and they will get the money for those videos. Now I don't care, because I knew that in the first place I get views and subscribers more than I would have if I didn't put them up, and I did work on those a long time ago. But I also did some work for the Venga Boys, which was another popular pop band in the 90s and this and that. And their music recently changed hands. So one of the videos that was one of my biggest movers with a couple of thousand views automatically just got blocked from everywhere instantly after being up for a while, because the copyrights changed hands when another record label bought in. So this can happen as well. We've heard this before, and I'm not going to mention any names because I can't be sure, and it hasn't happened to me. But when we're using third-party services or apps or things like that, you just have to be aware that that's a possibility. So what I recommend for everybody is to do a little bit of research if you're going to use music from an app or a company and things like this, to see if there's been any problems with that in the past, because we hear those horror stories where YouTubers make their intro from a copyright-free sound, and then that it's not copyright-free anymore a year later. Now all your videos essentially are not ruined, but you know what I mean, right? So that's a big problem. But you can trust the YouTube audio library, absolutely, because YouTube's putting that out. They're not going to ever do anything to get everybody upset, because they know we'll scream and raise the roof on that. But it's just something to think about. So hopefully that clarifies a little bit. But when you have copyright-free music, you're able to use it with in your videos any way you want without giving the ad money to anybody else. You have copyright shared, where some artists have decided that they'll split the money with you. They're like, okay, well, our music gets out there because these YouTubers are putting it out. That makes us more popular, so we're willing to take half the money instead of all of it. But the biggest artists usually just say, forget everybody, we're going to take all the money, because it's not the artist, it's the publisher behind them. You know what I mean? Taylor Swift doesn't control what goes on with her music. Other companies own the masters, and she's, got one artist that's got battles, for instance. So you just have to beware of that, right? So I don't know if that answers the question. I hope it gives a little bit of light.
It does, because I didn't realize that if you have it, and I didn't know that they could take money from, if you're monetized, they could take money from your video itself, or that it could be pulled.
So yeah, it could be blocked. So what happens is, like, they'll block your video in any country where the artist or the publisher has decided that they don't want that video to be seen. So for instance, in my case, for the Venga Boys, they're like, no, if people are looking for that song, we want them on ours and nobody else's. Which is fine. That's what they want. It's too bad, but it's something that can happen. So we're talking about copyright claims there, right? And then a lot of times when you do covers, you can, or if you use a cover version of a song, it might be copyright shared, where you get half the money, the publisher gets half the money. So one of the recommendations I can make for anybody is, if you're using music in your videos, upload the video first as private and leave it for a day or two if you can. If time is not an issue, put it up and let YouTube sniff through the copyrights on your stuff to see if it matches anything. If it doesn't, you're good to go. And there you go. Yeah, Fanatic Guide's talking about had videos blocked before. And so it happens. I've got a few videos on my channel where most people can't see. Like, unfortunately, you can see it here in Canada. I don't even know if you can see it in the States. The UK can't see it. So, I got these videos that will never move because most people are never going to be able to get to them, and YouTube's not going to push a video that's blocked in most channels. And then Jaden's asking, what if you're blocked from a YouTube channel? That's a different thing, but what I'd suggest then is just talk to the host on another social network if you could find one, or a moderator, and then just ask them about that. Not everybody's always blocked. Sometimes we think we are, but it's a glitch with YouTube, and it can be solved by being added to somebody's approved users list.
No, but that's interesting, because I mean, when I thought about the music, I was like, I thought it was just a little bit more simple, but it isn't, because I didn't realize you had to buy the music outright,
The
which
music the music industry itself is a wild beast, absolutely, right? And there's as much evil in that business as there is good. So it's just something that, luckily I'm able to shed a little bit of light on and share a little bit of this, but only because I knew this stuff beforehand. So I'm able to go ahead and start a music channel because I knew what was involved. Otherwise, you might put a music channel up and a year later find that your whole channel's ruined, and you wouldn't wish for that on anybody, right?
no, definitely
Yeah.
not. It's like, and I thought it was just so simple before knowing you, before you put the channel up, that, oh, well, I could put any song on, and it's like, no, you can't.
Yeah, so you just have to be careful. So if you're going to use copyright-free music, you just want to make sure you're going to a trusted source. So I wouldn't expect anybody that doesn't already know me from TuberChat or anywhere else to use the music until it builds up a little bit and they learn a little bit of reputation, when hopefully that becomes something. In the meantime, you can look at Epidemic Sound. I'm not recommending them. I'm just saying you can, right? There's apps out there like Power Director and these other ones that have music included, but just do some research first. Maybe type in Google, like, has there been copyright claims and stuff, and you'll find it right away. And then YouTube's audio library you can trust, because I'm pretty sure they've bought all that stuff out, like they own it. So nobody can ever touch that.
How come you can't hum a song or sing a song?
Even that is something else. So they've got, the technology is incredible, where it can say that if you're copying the melody of a song or using it, then they want the money from it. They don't want you to profit from it. So it's pretty wild out there what can happen. So that's why I recommend to everybody, if you make a video, upload it, let YouTube's algorithm do what it needs to go through the video. It sees and hears everything. It understands different languages. It hears the words that you say, melodies of songs. Sometimes it makes mistakes. You could try to appeal those or cut things out of your video, but it's a lot easier to do before the video is published than after. But it's stuff to think about, right? Because you don't want to get in trouble. Once you've found a source that you trust, you're able to stick with that and just have confidence in it, right?
So for the two channels that a lot of people know you from, it's from TubaChat and from the new music channel. Where do you see them going or growing or expanding?
So it's a little bit tough to tell right now, because TuberChat was on track to do to move a lot faster than it is now, because last September we started to see all this purging and glitching that's going on with YouTube, and it seems to me they're suppressing things, right? So we still grow, but at a much slower pace than I was at the end of last summer, for instance. If I'm right, and I'll have to go back and look, but I think we were getting 400 subscribers a month. Or close to it, or on track for that. And then now we're down to about 100 a month, which is fine, but that's, the rate of growth. It's just the party's over from, 2019 and beyond, right? And so it's tough to say. If I look at a graph, if anybody was to type in Social Blade and just see the predictions, it's probably going to be pretty close to that, because I don't intend on changing anything. So you might also be surprised to know that I actually do a few things to try to slow TuberChat down. So when we get too many new channels coming in, or young channels, let's just say young creators who can't quite, grasp the things that I insist on when we're connecting with each other, then I will do things like change the category. So if I change the category of a TuberChat live stream to entertainment, we'll have more people come through. But if I change it to how to and help, then we get a few less people, but we get less trouble with, let's say, younger creators or people who really weren't trying to find something like TuberChat in the first place. Yeah. And what we don't want is for people to come in, not be interested in what we're doing and the way we're doing it, and then not do it right, and then everybody who's in there for the purpose of connecting genuinely to get upset. So it's it's understandable, hopefully, to everybody that I would do something like that. And again, I just experiment with different things. I change the categories of the live streams to see what happens with the traffic. And we've found a nice sweet spot now where usually, like I said, we get 10 to 20 people. As a matter of fact, just last week, I stopped asking everybody to share. So now that I mention it, you may notice, but for anybody that's been there the last week or two, you'll notice that I've still asked for the thumbs up. I hope everybody's giving Makeup Mom and Son a thumbs up right now for this live stream. But I keep asking for the thumbs up. I keep reminding everybody about swapping playlists, but I stopped asking people to share just to see what happens, right? If we get less trouble in the chat with creators that don't want to connect the right way. I only want to be found by people who want to find something like this. Even though we can't see the future, they might not be looking for it yet, but this is all a part of marketing, right? Is trying to get your message out to the right people without drawing too much from people. I don't want anybody to waste their time. I don't want anybody to be upset, and things like that. I appreciate every moment that everybody spends on any of my channels. So I don't want to bring anybody there that doesn't want to be there. What I'd like to do is just bring the people who want that kind of thing in their life to find TuberChat and then say, hey, this is great. And we see that often. Again, it's not from everybody, but that's the goal, right? Is to try to hit the right people so that we can keep the community growing the way it is.
It's true, because if everybody shared and were friends and did what we had to do, we would have so many views, out there right now. And I see a lot of new people that come in and they're like, yeah, come to my channel, give me a banana. And it's like, okay, but I really don't know you, and
it's okay. The other thing we have to remember, though, like when thinking about that, is that we know what we know now from being in this for a while. But we were all new at it. Like when I saw Nightbot for the first time, I'm pretty sure I tried to block it because it timed me out for using capitals or something, right? I barely remember now. But, I was new at this too. Only just over a year ago, like let's say 2 years ago, I was brand new at all of what we're talking about all the time about connecting with each other. So I try to keep in mind that not everybody already understands. They haven't already heard bananas. They don't know about leaving packages and stuff. It's something I probably don't talk about enough, is going back to the very basics and explaining to people who are brand new, right? I try to watch the chat as best I can, feel the mood of the room at the time to see how we're doing. If too many people are doing things that we don't like let's say using too many numbers, emojis, capital letters, and things like this, then I try to say a few things to reel it in a little bit, remembering that some people haven't been through it, so they just don't know. And, there's a lot of different reasons. We have language barriers. There's lots of people from around the world who may not understand English as well as I do in the chat. I try to be mindful of that as well, that my message may not be heard the way I'm intending by every person who hears it, right? And then as well, I always want to guide newcomers by the hand to try to help them along so that they have an easier time even outside of my channels, so that they'll just remember and say, well, TuberChat is great for a few reasons, hopefully, but they're able to still go out and grow their channel and do even better, and it will be easier for them than it was for us. Is the hope.
Which is good. I like that. I know I'm like, oh, let me ask some questions, but I know everybody's going to want to have questions of their own for you too, because you do give very good advice. And
I appreciate you saying that.
Yes, I wanted to see if anybody had any questions for Kevin, either about how to grow the channel, how to no emojis.
I love talking YouTube, yeah. So I'm always happy to help in any way that I can. So, even though I run a few channels, like if somebody, a couple people have pointed out, how can some guy with 2,000 subscribers act like an expert? Yeah, of course. I haven't built a channel to 1 million subscribers yet. Maybe someday. I don't even expect that, to be honest with you. I fully expect to have 100,000 subscribers eventually. Maybe on one channel, I'm not sure, but millions is a different story. So you wonder about that. But if you want to know how to build a channel up to 14,000 subscribers. If you want to know how to monetize 5 channels, I know how to do that because I just did it. I'm going to monetize a 6th, and I want you to come along and see how it's done so that hopefully, like I said, it will be easier for you as well, right? So, you know, I'm always happy to help as much as I can, but I learn from creators of all sizes every single day. So what I wish is just to share that knowledge so that we can all make better decisions for our channels, myself included.
Joy Bless Life has a question. Does Kevin have Mexican copyright-free music for background music of restaurant food?
So I don't have anything that specific right now. TubaChat, or sorry, the other channel, our copyright-free music channel, only has 18 songs right now. So I'm looking at expanding the collection soon, but it's going to be a slow, long process where the intention is to do exactly what I tell everybody to do all the time. And I don't mean to tell everybody what to do. It's just that I want to share the ideas and the best advice I can. But I keep saying, if you put out a quality piece of content every week and just do that, your channel will grow. Now the idea is, here, watch me do it. Because all of the channels that I'm involved with now were started before TuberChat. So now I get to start a new one after TuberChat and say, here, if you want to see how it's done, let me show you. And I'll tell the story about what's happening as it goes. I'll share the ups, the downs, the frustrations, you know, and things like that, so that hopefully everybody can benefit from it. But it's going to take a long time to get, like, you know, it's going to take a year to have 50 songs, let's say. And I probably won't expand out of the genre of music that there already is. It's like, you know, nightclub sounding dance music right now, and that's all I expect it to ever be, because it's too much to reach out into other genres like that. Like, so for instance, if I wanted to have Spanish music or Mexican music, if you want to call it that or whatever, I would have to, it doesn't help me to have 3 songs. You know, I mean, everybody needs like 100 songs, right? And music is unbelievably expensive, especially when you start getting into the things that we're doing. But because I was already buying music for TuberChat, the music channel seemed like a good idea. We'll know soon enough. We'll know in a year, right, as we work on it. So I hope everybody enjoys the process of watching that too. And I'm happy to, you know, take inspiration and advice from other creators on ideas that they have as well. Maybe there's things I'm not going to think of, right? This is the first music channel I'm working on, so we'll see.
No, it's doing good so far. I come home, I take off my sneakers, and I play it as I'm, you know, getting everything all ready, and it's like, I have fun, and I'm sitting there like, yeah. And the conversation with everybody in there is so fun.
See, I learn from creators all the time. So for those of you who don't know Two Pineapples, that's a friend of all of ours. They're part of the TuberChat community. And this is somebody that I speak to offline as well. We actually do phone calls frequently. And they have been doing a 24-hour live stream for many, many months, since I believe before Christmas they had started, right? So they were willing to share their experience with me as well. And what they were saying is, like, you know, TuberChat is a high, you know, it's a fast-paced, high-speed chat where everybody's there to work, right? I'm only there for 2 hours, so everybody knows, like, hey, you got to get in there, work it as hard as you can, and we'll see you tomorrow, right? And that's understandable. It's a utility. That's what that channel really is. But when you talk about these other 24-hour live streams, there's a million of them out there. But like Spotless Calm, like I said, has an 8-hour live stream. Two Pineapples has a few sometimes 24-hour live streams. What they pointed out to me is, you're going to find that people have conversation over there, because you're able to just relax a little bit. Hey, what do you do? How was your day? How was the weather? What kind of work do you do? And it's really interesting now to see that, because in TuberChat, we can't get into that. If I put a channel up and started talking about everybody's childhood and history, we'd only see one channel a day and it wouldn't work, right? And I am interested to know, you know, about the creators behind the channels, but there's a limit to how much we can learn in a 2-hour live stream while TuberChat's just firing through channels as fast as we can, right? But on these other 24-hour live streams, we're able to get in there. I wasn't expecting the nightclub atmosphere that's come out. Yeah. And what ends up happening is, for those of you who haven't seen the channel, I've taken some footage from Grand Theft Auto's video game where they have dancing people in a nightclub and DJs and all this, and the cameras just move around and everything else. But it's kind of cool to see. It's fine. But I just needed something, right? You got to have something on the screen. I didn't want to just put graphics and stuff, right? So then the music loops, and for those interested, it loops differently than the video. So you're never actually watching exactly the same thing twice. And that was important, right? Because YouTube has rules about that. They don't want you republishing the same stuff. But what happened is, because it looks like a nightclub in there, people started coming in and saying like, hey, I want a drink. Hey, I'm hanging out in the corner. Hey, look at me dancing over there and stuff. And it's really, really cool because it was something that I didn't expect. So now we've got this fun atmosphere where people are able to not only have conversation, but kind of play around a little bit, right? And have a little bit of fun and not be so serious as we are everywhere else. And it's really great. And I'm just thankful because we have so many creators, like Princess Beyond Passions is over there frequently. Scratch and PPA's there supporting every day. Sam's Vlogs, Trains, and More is part of the moderator squad, right? And there's a lot of creators. Vibes with the Thompson family is coming in there. Jewel in the Kitchen is there almost every day. Lots of creators who are here with us right now and in the TubaChat community come over, even if it's only for a moment, sometimes longer than others. And sometimes there's more people in there than other times. But this is what can happen with anybody's channel. I did not expect that. Now, like I said, the hours are just flying. I didn't look today, but the last time I looked at the beginning of the weekend, we have 1,500 hours and only 160 subscribers. So that is like, what is that, 30% of the hours or something like that, and only, 15% of the subscribers. That is probably going to drive a lot of people crazy, saying, oh my gosh, I wish for that. But it was through experiments with 2 pineapples and me doing a lot of experiments and talking to other creators to realize how we can get these hours happening. And it's by doing these 12-hour live streams for now. As soon as we're monetized, I'll flip it and it'll be a 24-hour live stream that will just run for days on end. But for now, because we're working on hours, I know how to rack them up very quickly. So we'll get that happening.
What would you suggest to people to get their hours up? Let's say, like, I am an unboxing person. I can't unbox an hour for like a small box like this and be like, okay, let me describe every little piece. It's yellow. Yeah.
So I don't want to, I never want to advise anybody to do something that I wouldn't do. I know there's a lot of creators out there doing silent live streams or doing encore presentations. I understand why, but I don't want to recommend that to anybody. What I can say is, if you're going to do an unbelievably long live stream, consider the idea of cutting it off after 12 hours. So I have OBS, and it has a scene switching plugin called Advanced Scene Switcher, for those of you who want to know. And you can set it by times. Specifically, mine runs until 9:48 p.m. or 9:48 a.m. And then it cuts off for about 11 and a half minutes, comes back at 10 o'clock. And there's a specific reason for that. I happen to use Restream as a middleman. So that stream actually runs on Twitch, DLive, and Trovo as well. 3 more platforms. But 5 minutes of cutting a stream and restarting is not enough for YouTube to break the connection. So if you stop and try to restart within less than 10 minutes, YouTube might pick it up and continue the stream that you left off with. So by breaking for 10 minutes, I know that 100% it's going to break. That's why I do it for 11 minutes, right? And it's just interesting. So forgive me for anybody who's bored by the numbers that I'm talking about. But if you're going to do something and you really want to rack the hours up, now I don't want to recommend to anybody to do those kind of live streams. But if you're going to, that can help. So live streams really help because you get, I believe it's a view for every 5 minutes that somebody stays. So you'll notice if you do a live stream, you may only have 10 people in there, but you got 50 views. And you wonder, how on earth did that happen? Because you're getting a view for every 5 minutes that they stay or thereabouts. So that's not an absolute calculation. That's what I think based on my own numbers, but I can't be sure because YouTube doesn't have documentation on that I've found. But that's an idea. So live streams really help. And then otherwise, it's too bad that I have to put it this way, but if you just make that 1 video a week as a minimum, if you're not there yet, Just get there as soon as you can. But natural organic growth will happen for you. If you're watching your own videos and you're looking at the analytics and you're understanding how to improve those, you will get more views on your videos as time goes by, therefore more watch time. The other analytic that we want to look at is how long are people watching. You can really narrow it down in your videos and in the analytics to specific words that you say, or mannerisms that you have, or whether you use an intro or the different special effects or transitions you might use in your video. Like, for instance, even I do this on my own personal channel. But when you're about to end a video and 30 seconds before the end of it, you start saying, well, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. You know how many people will click off right away? Because nobody's there to watch you talk about the end of your video. They're there for content. And talking about the end of our video is content to us, but it may not be to anybody else. I'm not saying that I'm right. You know what I mean? I never want to do that. But I'm just saying that it's something to consider. YouTube's analytics will tell the story, and you will get more instinct as time goes on. As long as you're constantly striving to be better, you will eventually instinctively do that. I'm looking at that link, so thank you, Scratch and PPA. When I originally started my YouTube channel, I forget if it was 10 years ago or 8 years ago or what it was, but I picked this name because I was going to do another project with it that had to do with Mississauga, which is a town close to Toronto and this and that. So I got that username. So now a lot of times when you copy the link, it comes up with this instead of just going youtube.com/Kevin Kaye, which also gets to the channel. So I wish there was a way to change that, but it doesn't seem that I found one yet. But thank you for dropping that. Anybody can click that, of course, right?
Yes, thank you. I know I have him and Sam as one of my mods.
Yep.
So would you suggest, I've seen some people say that when you start your video, you know, just say a little intro, or pretty much at that point tell everybody thumbs up, subscribe, hit the thing, and then go to your content, because everybody's going there to see, you know, that box to be open, you know, instead of just starting with the box and at the end saying it at the end of your video, hey, thumbs up, subscribe. You should do it at the beginning and then
if possible, then I recommend doing it throughout, right? Or what you can do is you know, it is good practice to do it. So absolutely, if you can write that in and get into the habit of doing that, you can plan your video out. You can say, let's say my video is going to be about 10 minutes. You could be wrong, may only be 5 minutes, maybe 15. But you can say, let me do one part of this, and then I'll say, and if you haven't already given a thumbs up, it really does help. I'll appreciate that, right? Then do the next part and then say, and if you're enjoying this video, consider sharing it with somebody who would like to see it, right? Then continue on. Now, even I, many times in almost every video, have done the ending that we're all used to, that say, thank you, if you enjoy this, you know, and we do it all at the same time. But I also use special effects, not crazy special effects, just those things that pop up on the screen, and I spread them out. So if a video is 5 minutes, you'll see one every 30 seconds. If the video is 20 minutes, you'll see one every 2 minutes. And one of them will say, follow me on Facebook. One will say, give me a thumbs up. One will say, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. So I don't have to keep saying it, right? But you know, a lot of the bigger YouTubers have better ways to describe exactly how to do a video. Maybe someday I'll make a video called How to Make a Video, and then I'll make one and I'll show everybody the whole process. But for instance, what I might do if I was going to show you my OtterBox from my old phone, I would start my video by saying, today we're looking at the OtterBox for the iPhone SE. Stick around, I'll show you what's involved, right? Or something like that. Now, I do use an intro, so I will play my intro, right? Bang, 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 this, that, that. Then I come back and I say, welcome back. This is Kevin Kaye from kevinkaye.com. And on this channel, I do YouTube tutorials, a lot of live streaming. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. Then I get into, okay, today we're looking at the iPhone SE OtterBox. Look at this like fantastic thing. And, you know, we talk about it, right? Yeah. But that's something that people can do. And again, once you experiment with a little bit of this stuff and then you look through your analytics, you'll be able to tell whether it helps. The other idea is your intentions. So if you're somebody who wants to monetize your videos beyond, YouTube, AdSense, Super Chats, and things like that, you can get into Amazon affiliate programs and stuff like that. What you'll notice now that I mention it, for anybody that catches an unboxing video from me that's recent or new, what I will do is I will unbox the product and then I will put a clip in, and it will say, I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can get more information about this product. It will be an Amazon link, although on the screen I might put a web page up or an Amazon page or something like that. Then I will do the setup or review or whatever I'm going to do about that product. And at the end, right before the end of the video, I'll say again, I'm going to leave a link in the description. Now, that could be counterproductive, but I'm doing it knowing that I'm going overboard with these things because I actually want the Amazon clicks, right? The Amazon affiliate program is a whole nother beast, but there's a big reason why you might want to do that and why those clicks really matter more so than people actually purchasing. So there's a method always to the madness, whether it's right or it's wrong, but you can experiment with different things, and the analytics and just even the instinct that you'll get from your views and your watch time will tell you when you're doing things right or when you need to improve a little bit.
So Maria Anderson says, any tips or suggestions for new YouTubers and live streaming? I see these panel talk show type thing often. I'm afraid of letting the wrong person come on.
So I'm hoping I pronounced this right, Maria Anderson, but thank you so much for that question because it's something I actually wanted to mention, right? So one of the things that is a terrible, terrible, terrible thing that can happen on YouTube is you can let the wrong person on and they can do unbelievably vicious things to even have your channel just removed right from YouTube instantly, right? So we never want that to happen. That's drastic, but it's possible. So what you can do in the case of something like StreamYard like this is, first of all, my suggestion is you never let anybody on if you don't know them first. In most cases, I would suggest putting if you're going to do a panel like this where it's specifically going to be with a person or 2 or 3 or 10 or whatever it's going to be, send them the link on Instagram or Facebook or somewhere else, not in the chat, so that it doesn't get picked up by anybody that doesn't want to go. But it's an idea. It doesn't always, if Michelle today is only expecting to have me on the panel, she can put the link in the chat all she wants because she's not going to let anybody else up, right? That's not the intention. But as well, so this is horrible, but it is the truth. And for anybody considering doing StreamYard or Zoom or any of these things, it's possible for a troll, let's say, to take video footage of me talking right now, then go into StreamYard, put that video footage up so you think I'm actually in the background talking, and then all of a sudden 5 seconds later up comes something else that has nothing to do with me because it's a recorded video. So you have to be very, very, very careful. I wouldn't put anybody on that you don't already know, although it can be okay. You know, this is the sad thing is we have to make a balance between going too far. I tend to be too conservative, and being too liberal where you might, make a mistake and it could really damage your channel. You can get guideline strikes and things like that for things other people do on your channel, and I don't wish that on anybody. So the other hint is that we can do a thing here with our camera, like turn it off and you see just this bubble. That's not enough, in my opinion. What Vern's Junk Closet will do, for instance, on hers, I've watched her do this many times. She'll say, okay, I'm going to have you on the StreamYard panel. If you want, come up. Even if you don't want to be on, that's okay, but I must see your face myself before I will put you on. So in the background, which everybody can't see right now, Michelle's able to see a tiny little window with my picture. So while I'm in the background, she can look at that and say, oh, okay, that's Kevin. I know it's him. He's giving me a thumbs up. He's absolutely there. This is real time. And then she can put I can change my camera back to this if I want to, and then she can put me up if I don't want to be on the screen. Because lots of people might come onto a panel, but they just don't want to be on the screen right that minute. They haven't done their hair, or they just woke up, or for any other number of reasons. I've done it too, right? Hopefully that's helpful.
Tools too.
Yeah. So how to avoid bots and trolls on your comments. So let's say on a channel in general, there's a couple of things that you can do to help. So you can't necessarily deter it forever. Absolutely, because if somebody's going to do that, they're going to do it. A lot of times it's just robots that come around and it really has nothing to do with you. It's not malicious, but we also know there's malicious behavior out there. There are a few things you can do. So if this is something I would suggest writing down, if anybody wants to do this, if you're thinking about live streaming, for instance, there's a setting that you can use. And it's in the background. It's down by where your tags are, and it's called Allow Embedding. What that does is it lets people use your YouTube videos on other websites. So let's say you did an unboxing of BoxyCharm, and somebody who with a BoxyCharm vlog used your video and put it in their website. That's great. That's wonderful. You wish for that, right? But for most live streams, nobody's ever going to link to this for any reason, because we're just, we're talking. This, hopefully people are getting information out of, but if we're just having a chill chat session, it's not useful for websites. So you can turn that setting off. What most people don't know, I'm just assuming, forgive me, I'm assuming that most people don't know, that is the one setting that doesn't allow a lot of the robots to work. So when people do things like buy views or buy subscribers or buy likes and things like that, that setting keeps those robots off your channel. It's possible to buy a robot, like they used to have these thumbs down armies, where you could go out and you could buy like 250 thumbs down and send it over to somebody's video. And we've seen that a million times as well. It's ridiculous. But if you turn that setting off, it prevents it. I'm not saying 100%, but it does. The other thing I like to do on my channel is have slow mode on the chat. And what that does is if somebody comes in and wants to start rapid firing the same sentence over and over and over, by having your chat on slow mode, they can only do one every 10 seconds. That will give you enough time after they say the first couple of letters or words or whatever to click them and delete them if that's what you're going to do, right? So
but you
it's
said that at the beginning of your live, right? You can't do it in the middle of your live.
Yeah, no, you can. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I just did it the other day, 100%. Because actually, on another channel that I'm involved with, they had that. They had a robot came and started making a bunch of channels and doing the same thing. So we just put slow mode on and it stopped instantly. Because let's say somebody's just trolling, but it's not about you. They don't specifically hate you. They're just somebody who wants to do this. If they can't get what they want out of you, they'll move on to somebody else. We don't wish that. But there's really not much we can do about it. YouTube is not a great help when it comes to trying to get rid of that stuff. There are a couple of things that you can do to defend. So that's the idea, slow mode in the chat. If you've had a bit of problem with that, that's something you can put on. You can always take it off if you want, right? And having moderators that you trust is a big thing. You don't want moderators that, maybe you're friends today, but they don't like you 3 months from now. They can go through and start banning everybody on your channel, like everybody who's ever left a comment and stuff. And that could be a nightmare. And I had that happen on TubaChat, as a matter of fact. So luckily, we had a lot of people reach out to us on Instagram and say like, hey, I can't get in. I can't get in. So I knew something was wrong and fixed it. But, there's a lot of trust when it comes to your moderators. That's why I put a lot of weight behind people like Scratch and PPA and Michael's Adventures and things like that, is because I take moderating very, very, very seriously. I'm always happy to be a mod on any channel. I absolutely help when I'm there as much as I can. But you have to take that into consideration. So I don't want to tell anybody what they should or shouldn't do when it comes to having moderators. I'm just saying I take it very seriously because of the things that can happen and because of the help that you may need. If you get a troll, they can really throw your whole stream right off, and that can lead to people stop watching and things like that, right?
Oh yeah. Yesterday was in North and South Homestead, and they were just coming. And it was like finally she gave me and a few other people the wrench so this way we could start getting them, because they were coming. I mean, it was crazy. Yeah,
it happens, like I said, if it hasn't happened to you by 1,000 subscribers, it's going to happen by the time you hit 2,000. Something's going to come. Not all of it is malicious. Like I said, some of it's just robots, some of it's kids, some of it's, like just nonsense. And then there is malicious behavior out there as well, unfortunately. But I don't know how exactly you can imagine to avoid the stuff, right? I think it's inevitable for everybody. As much as I always want to be positive, it's true, right? But then as well, I find that when the worst stuff comes around, if you ignore it, and I promise, I know it's difficult. I've been trolled hard myself as well at times. I know how difficult it is. But if you can ignore it, don't go to the channel, don't watch videos, don't interact with them at all. After a couple of weeks, it will stop. Happens every time because they ultimately they want attention, and if they don't get it, they will go somewhere else for it, right? Seems that way.
Yeah. So Jaden had a question. He's asking, why do you break for 10 minutes on the copyright-free
Right.
music?
So that's because 5 minutes of a break is not enough for YouTube to understand that that live stream's connection is broken. So when I use OBS, OBS is always sending a signal out. So by breaking that connection with OBS for 5 minutes, it's not enough to start a new live stream. It might pick up the old one, and then you lose the benefit of the 12-hour live stream. But if you break for at least 10 minutes, I find that it's enough to break the connection and start a new stream.
So what do you think about shorts? Everybody,
Shorts are something that I hadn't experimented with until last November. As a matter of fact, Vern's Junk Closet joined me for episode 100 of TuberChat. We were talking about shorts, and we both hadn't done any yet. So we both went out and did some after. I did it for the purpose of trying to learn so I can come at the idea with a little bit of experience. Now, what I did is I filmed, I don't know if it was 10 or 15 or whatever shorts. They're all on my channel now. But I had originally filmed them, put them out. I got a couple of them, I think, to 1,000 views or something like that. Nothing spectacular, but I did have a little bit of fun with it and this and that. But they really have nothing to do with my channel. Which my channel's variety anyway, so it's okay. But they were just for experiment. So I unlisted them for a long time because I didn't want that to be what people see when they first come to my channel. Otherwise, they're just going to say, this guy's just like, why is a duck walking across the road? That's nothing to do with anything, right? So I'm afraid people would leave. So now I've put them back on just so that people can look if they want to. But shorts are an interesting thing right now because they're looking at the idea of monetizing them. And I don't know how long it's going to be before they really monetize where we have a chance at some of that monetization, because right now it's locked only to the biggest YouTubers with the biggest videos and success, right? But eventually they will. So they did that. If I understand right, it was because TikTok, I think, was banned in India. And so they went after that audience because the audience there is so big. I could be wrong about that, wrong about the reason. Also, when Trump was in the administration, the future of TikTok was questioned because there was threats about shutting it down. So YouTube and Instagram and everybody else went out. You know, now we have Instagram Reels, we have YouTube Shorts, and most of the platforms, even Twitter has something now for like stories, right? They've joined that bandwagon as well, because they wanted to go after the TikTok audience because of the wild success we see over there. So I've only experimented. And then, Thrifty Angela says she uses shorts as a way to get people to the channel, and it can work. What we have seen, the stories that I've heard so far from creators who've had the most success that I've known of that have talked about it, have said that, it brings in subscribers, but because those subscribers came for that content, they're really not interested in anything else. And it really doesn't relate to a lot of watch time or views or anything. So it's nice when we have a channel pumped up to 20,000 subscribers, but when we only have the same number of people watching as somebody with 1,000, you just have to decide if that is what you want. But shorts are something that absolutely I think anybody should experiment with if it's suitable to your channel. Now, I'm not going to do them with TuberChat, but I'll show you an example of how I could. We talk about a lot of different things. And forgive the idea that I talk too much all the time, right? I split my conversations into an hour long for every single thing we talk about. But if I could trim it down, you could make 1-minute conversations about everything and make shorts that way. I don't think that shorts are the right thing for TuberChat because I don't want to distract the TuberChat audience with a bunch of notifications for shorts videos, which I really don't think are that valuable. I would rather do an 8-minute video talking about 5 things than a 1-minute video talking about one thing. But that's just me. I'm not even saying I'm right because I haven't tried with TuberChat yet. All the stuff I've done on my personal channel is nonsense. From literally like a couple of ducks walking through a parking lot to filming a Ferris wheel, and of course the Niagara Falls because I'm always there. But you know, it's really not. It's not quality content. It's just like, oh, that's nice to look at maybe for a second, but you know, it's a thought. So everybody's got to think about the right decision for their own channel, right? If there's anything specific that I can answer about shorts or try to, I'll be happy to do that. But you know, for the time being, it's something I'm not going to sing or dance, so my shorts are not going to be that fun. Anyway, I don't imagine, right? And again, it all comes down to how much time do you have as well. Should you be out live streaming, or could you have spent that 2 hours editing a video? Should you be, you know, not going out and doing a live stream because it only takes 2 hours and 15 minutes to do a 2-hour live stream? But it takes 2 hours and 15 minutes to edit a 10-minute video, right? So you have to make all these decisions. And shorts, if there's something that you think can be good for your channel and accent what you've already got, then I say absolutely. And there will be monetization, I'm sure, down the road for this stuff. So that's something I'll personally lose out on, but I know that right now. So
Jaden has a question. Does the watch hours help if you leave and come back?
I can't be sure about that because YouTube doesn't give us a way to really measure that. All it does is it gives you a bunch of views and it gives you a bunch of watch time, but it doesn't show you individually which creator caused it for you. So unfortunately, I don't have a better answer for that.
Everybody wants to see you dancing in your shorts.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I've thought about things I can do, right? Most of you have seen my different colored t-shirts. So I could do something where I jump, and every time I jump, the t-shirt changes. I don't know. Maybe I'll try one just for fun, right? But I don't want to. I won't take too much seriousness behind it. I just wanted to experiment with them myself, so that I could come from a position of some kind of experience, right? So when I'm talking about it, somebody could say, you know, I don't want anybody to have to think like, well, you've never made one, so what are you talking about? Okay, I've made a few, and this is what I think, right?
Yeah. Now, for me, I think I'm gonna do my experiment this month. Last month, I tried that I was consistent. I was doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So my views and stuff, my hours have finally gotten over 1,000. Woohoo! This month, I was gonna add shorts in the Tuesdays and Thursdays that I don't have videos to see what that would bring the channel. But I was gonna look at it for just a month and see what the numbers look like, and if it doesn't work, then you know I could get rid of the shorts. I mean, I'm doing shorts of pallets. I have over 150 pallets.
Right.
It's not costing me anything to do them. So.
Yeah. So that's a good idea. So here's a thought then, right? While we're talking about this, so let's say you have a makeup tutorial channel, and you're doing that frequently, then absolutely it can make sense to do shorts, and maybe you'll have a better conversion of you know, some of the subscribers who come from the shorts staying to watch some of your content because it's similar, right? They might say, well, I'm here for the makeup, not because it's just a short video. I like makeup. That's why I clicked on it. Let's just say, right? Whereas for me, again, a duck crossing the road, that's not going to make anybody watch a flight lesson video or one of the songs that I've done. You know, they're not related. Now, I'm not saying I'm right. Again, we have a lot more experimenting to do, and I'm looking forward to a lot of the generous creators reaching out to me, like Thrifty Angela gave us some information there as well. And when somebody will say something like, hey, I've done a few shorts and this is what happened. You know, I've seen a creator like do shorts and get like, I don't know, 25,000 subscribers over a couple of weeks or whatever it was, but it hasn't related to monetization. You know what I mean? It's like, well, how are you struggling with watch hours? Yeah, because the shorts people are not there. It's 15 seconds at a time if they watch the whole thing. You know, I know we could do them for a minute, but you probably get what I'm saying, right? So
Yeah.
again, it's something to experiment with. I hope everybody will, and I'd love to know what everybody comes up with. If you find some kind of success that I can share with the community, even if you have to bluntly say, like, hey, Kevin, you were wrong about this. I did something and it worked. I'd love to know, right?
What do you think about, I've heard different things about having, like right now I'm doing 3 days out of the week. I heard somebody did suggest that if I'm doing it 3 days out of the week, what's happening is that YouTube is seeing one video, they're putting it out or trying to put it out there for 2-3 days, and then if I pop up with another video 2 days later, it's now not letting that first video mature.
So I'll bet that there's validity to that statement. So I haven't done enough experimenting to know that myself, because I barely got one of the channels that I run up to a few videos a week, and we had to pull it back. Actually, one of the channels got demonetized. We had to wait for a month and get that channel monetized back again, because of the content like just being mismarked and this and that. So it's a thought to see, there's so many stories, right? We've got a guy in Toronto. His name is Johnny Strides, right? And he started last year from nothing. And the guy now is a full-time YouTuber, because what he was able to do is go out every single day and put out a video and a live stream. So that success story beats the idea that we're talking about, does it suppress your videos? In that case, it doesn't matter, because he's posting so much that, every video is just growing and growing and growing. So there could be validity to it. The fastest I had seen a channel monetized before TubaChat had started, for the life of me, I can't remember the girl's name because I haven't seen her in a long time now. But this girl got monetized in 8 weeks. So if you can imagine, that's in 2019. And what she did was, this is a girl, she is a nice enough girl, and she's an engaging content creator, but all she did was sit in her room and talk for 10 minutes or whatever it was. She put 3 videos a week and got monetized in 8 weeks. So it's possible, because pushing that frequently can help. Like 3 videos a week is better than 1 a week, let's say. So it's something you'll have to experiment with. If I was to make a suggestion, I would say, yeah, posting more is better, right? But we also have creators now that are posting so much that we're seeing, like, let's say if you post more than 3 times a day, YouTube says that they will suppress your notifications. So if you post 5 videos a day, some notifications may not go out for some of that stuff. So that's something to think about. Most people are not going to do that. But for instance, on the music channel right now, you'll notice that I said I'm doing 12-hour live streams. I'm already posting twice a day. If I start thinking about putting a video out as well, that's going to be like the max, because I want the notifications. So you got to think about that too. I know it's a long stretch from doing 3 videos a week to doing 24 or 21 or whatever it is, right? But it's a thought. Thrifty Angela has a good point here. It's the views that make the money. When it comes to AdSense, absolutely yes. And then live streams are where people can really benefit from super chats, and memberships go for both. But I believe that channels that live stream do better with memberships, because people can come in the chat, their name is green, they get the emojis and stuff like that, right?
Now, I find that since I've now reached a halfway point, my views are down. I mean, my views have gone up, so more in this last month of being consistent. Everybody, you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. And I find, yes, being consistent definitely does work. I mean,
well, one of the things I can tell you for sure, so on the other channels that I manage, and even with my own, which I'm way behind on posting videos, by the way, but on the other channels that I manage, what happens is every time we miss a week, so we only put 1 video per week per channel, but we try to do it every week if we can, right? If we miss a week, it takes a month to get the momentum back every single time without fail. So if you can get yourself to a position where you're putting out at least 1 video per week, then please get there as fast as you can. I'm not saying it can't be done without it. I'm just saying this is in my experience. I had started with the 1 video a week, And that came from, like the learning in the beginning from Roberto Blake, Sean Cannell, and all these others, right? And I find that it absolutely is the truth. If you put out one quality piece of content per week, and it's not up to me or Michelle or anybody else to decide what quality is, it's up to you, then your channel will grow organically just from that. And then if you can improve on that, that's great. If you can add live streams and if you can add other things, that's fantastic too. I tend to live stream sometimes just to keep my channel active. So I say, I just don't want to miss a week. Let me go out and film something. I've literally stared at a sunrise, stared at a waterfall a million times, right? Just to get a live stream out, just to keep the channel active. So that's something I hope everybody can get to. And if you could do better, then absolutely better. And I hope that you'll experiment and especially read the analytics, because that will tell you the story about what's working. You're not always looking for what you're doing wrong. You're also looking for what you're doing right so you can duplicate your own success. The other thing too, I should just disclaim, because I haven't said it for a while, I never want to tell anybody what they should or shouldn't do with their channel. I absolutely don't want to give the impression that I think that I'm right. I hope that I'm right most of the time. That's why me as a marketing guy, or with the things that I do, usually work and are okay, because most of my ideas work most of the time. But there are very few things that are a universal truth for everybody. A lot of the things we talk about really come down to the individual channels, and you'll gain the instinct as time goes on to be able to make the right decisions for your own channel, hopefully experimenting and not making too many fumbles along the way. Hopefully our experiences, for anybody that's a little bit newer, will be able to help you miss some of the mistakes we've made or things we haven't done, so that you can move even faster. It'll be easier for people who came after us than it was for us, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I learned a lot by asking questions, and I ask a lot of questions sometimes. But that's how you learn and grow from what I started to before to now. I mean, I officially started October 22nd with 33 subscribers.
Well,
So now I'm over 550. So
mhm.
like, I'm amazed because I didn't think I'll pass 100. So,
Well,
but
the other thing too is if you're able to do the work for the love of the work, right? And it really is work. Even if you love it, it's still, there's a lot of work to this. If you're able to do it for the love of the work, you'll find that you'll just grow naturally. And a lot of times I think you'll find that it'll move faster than you think. We did not expect that the biggest channel that I run right now would have 14,000 subscribers by now, but it does. There's been a couple of things that came along the way. Some of it's luck, some of it's the strong, solid foundation. And, that channel really moved. And thank you, Thrifty Angela, for the advice. But see how, like, even when she says don't put too much into the idea of subs, I know we're all focused on subscribers, but just think about this, and you'll hear me say this often. Personally, I decided not to quit before I started. So it didn't matter when I was going to get my subscribers. It doesn't matter when I'm going to get the watch hours. You can watch me go through this right now with the music channel. I am not doing things to force it. I'm not advertising anything. I'm not pushing. It'll get there when it gets there, because I'm expecting to do that channel for 5 years or 10 years or 20 years or however long it's going to be. I don't know yet. So I decided not to quit before I started each one of my channels. I contemplated and planned. If you do the same and you're able to just focus on the content and try not to worry about the numbers, even though I tell you, watch the analytics, be obsessed with your numbers. I know it's a contradiction, but if you can do it for the love of doing it in some way, even if you want to be monetized, I promise in every situation that I've seen or been involved with, it comes back more than we thought, especially the monetization. I don't want to get too much into numbers, because I've gotten in trouble with that before, where the things that I've mentioned have been taken out of context. And it's not that I fear that. I don't want to give anybody the impression about what they may or may not make when it comes to monetization.
yeah,
But by not being fixated on it, knowing that, like, I really need $20 a month, or I really need $30 a month, or 100, or whatever it's going to be. If you're here to stay, if you plan to be doing this 3 years from now, you're going to get there anyway. I promise you. It's likely going to be much more if you cannot worry about the numbers. Ask me how many subscribers I have on any channel right now. I can only give you an estimate. I don't know, because it doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean? It's somewhere around. I'm aware of where about the channels are so that I can judge the growth, but I don't stare at the subscriber numbers, you know, not since like hitting, let's say, right around 1,000, because it's such a big deal. But other than that, I really don't watch, because it doesn't matter. I'm staying anyway. You know what I mean? Whether, like, let's say, for instance, when you're monetized, you're going to do live streams. Some days you're going to get members, some days you're going to get super chats, and some days you're not. And you just have to understand there's always going to be averages. Same with your videos. You're going to get lots of views on some, not many views on the other. We don't get to pick. But if you decide, I'm going to make a video this week anyway, I don't care how many people watch it. I mean, you do the things you want so that you'll get as many people as possible, but it's not going to hurt you if this is not the video that makes your channel the superstar. You'll be okay, because eventually luck will come by, take some of your videos that you weren't expecting and make them fly. Right? Thrifty Angela has a couple of great stories, actually. This is somebody who I've been connected to for a long, long time, but she's found some serious success because she follows, she does a lot of research before she does her videos, where I do a little bit different. This is why my videos don't really fly. My best video has 70,000 views, but my video was a review of a Christmas gift that Kristen had given me. It just happened to be a popular tablet. That's why the video flew. It wasn't because I tried. Thrifty Angela has had success already in researching, planning, and making videos and causing them to fly, which is great. So I just want to point that out.
Yeah, no, for I guess for me, I guess when I first kind of like started, I kept on looking at other channels that did the same thing as I did, and looking at it saying, why are they getting so far ahead? Or why are they at this number? Why are they at that number?
Mm-hmm.
Just turned it around. I took like a week off, a week and a half, of not doing any videos, and I just said, you know what? Let me just watch YouTube, enjoy what everybody's showing, enjoying everything. And then I came back and I said, you know what? I'm gonna worry, but I'm not gonna worry about the numbers. It's gonna happen when it's gonna happen.
We can't control it, and I promise you, I call it luck, but it will come by. I see it on every channel that I'm involved with. And thank you so much, Scratch and PPA, for dropping those links. I really do appreciate that. Princess Beyond Passions has a question. What's the best time to start a second channel for somebody who would like to? I love this question because I absolutely have an answer for this, right? So let's assume that your first channel is variety, right? You just do whatever you want, right? And you're really not married to any idea. Then you can start a series of videos. And I would suggest anywhere from, let's say, 10 to 12 videos. Do the series on your main channel. Now, I know you're thinking to yourself, but I want those views on the second channel. But I promise you're not going to remember the first 10 videos when you get to 100 anyway. So it's, you just get through it. But a suggestion is to make a series on your main channel so that you can get all the kinks out, learn the things that you need to learn, because sometimes we think we don't need to learn. We think we know, and we end up finding out that we learn things along the way, right? That way you can see if your idea is something you're going to stick with. If you can get through 10 episodes of anything, you could probably get through 100, right? But if you can't get through 3, maybe it wasn't the idea for you. So that's an idea. And then you're going to be able to know for sure what you want to do when you start the next channel. As opposed to that, if you have a niche, if you're specifically makeup tutorials, but you also like cooking and you want to start another channel, I wouldn't suggest making cooking videos on your makeup channel. I would say, well, maybe now's the time to start the second channel. As long as it's a conscious decision, if the two ideas of the two channels are not somehow married together or they don't flow at all, it's time to start a second channel. The other thing, too, is you got to think about the time. Do you have time for a second channel? When I started my music channel, it's because I have the time. It really doesn't take that much work for me to do. I can line up a bunch of songs, make those videos, put them out, publish them weeks in advance or get them in the studio weeks in advance and then let them go at the times that I want. And then the rest is the live streams look after themselves. OBS just runs. I don't have to set those live streams. It does it itself. And I'm happy to teach anybody how to do that wants to know as well. So that takes so little effort that it made sense for me to do, because I don't have any time right now, especially getting into the spring and summer. I'm gone 3 days a week for 16 hours a day. I'm not around YouTube, right? So thank you everybody for the kind words in the chat. Thank you for engaging the conversation. Bobby Loves Beauty is spreading a lot of positivity there. She's somebody who has an unbelievably loyal and dedicated community around her. When I went to her channel the first time, I got such a warm welcome over there without her pushing too hard. That her community just started to come around. Now I've got, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 different people who come regularly to TubaChat that originally I had met from Bobby Loves Beauty, because she just has this kind of personality that draws in that type of a crowd. So it's wonderful to hear nice things from somebody like that as well.
I think slow and steady does win the race. I know everybody's looking at the next person. I just think that you look at creators like, you know, Men MUA and stuff like that, who these are people that started before there was all these rules. So many people doing the same, you know, unboxings, you know, or the same, you know, kind of content. And so they have those millions of viewers, but it's a different age back then versus now what it is now. That's kind of like what I see from seeing older channels to a newer channel.
Well, the funny thing is the game is always going to change. So mark my words, 5 years from now, we're going to be talking about how YouTube was so much different. And for anybody that's new, you wouldn't believe what we had to put up with and everything else, right? Because time just continues to go on. We've already seen lots of changes just in the last year. And that continues. So my hope is that we can guide along anybody that's new, motivated, and wants to start a YouTube channel now or has recently started, so that it will be easier for them than it was for us. Because, for instance, I got so much help from other people when I was introduced, especially to the small YouTuber community. It's like being pulled up the ladder. You know what I mean? Which is like spectacular. Anybody wants that. If we can continue to do that for people, then that's great. And I do like also what's being said in the chat now, the conversation about not comparing to other channels. It's difficult. I'm telling you right now, a guy that I work with every day, I run 3 channels for him, and 2 of them have more subscribers than I have. He's got 14,000 subscribers. Anybody would think to themselves, how are you not out of your mind on the idea that this guy has so much more than you? He's making thousands of dollars a month, and you're not. And it's like, it doesn't matter, because I knew I was going to get there. You know what I mean? Not to mention, in my case, when I want to help people, I especially like to, let's say, teach a man to fish, right? I want people to be able to make money for themselves. I know how life-changing it can be for a lot of people to make an extra $20, $50, $100 a month, or, you know, whatever it is. $20 a month can be life-changing to somebody. $50 a month can be life-changing to somebody. And we're all in a place where we can get there, and it's easy. In some cases, when I work for somebody, my intention is to make them so much more money than what they, first of all, originally wanted, if it's possible, so that they can afford to keep the whole thing going. You know what I mean? Not that it matters. I don't take a piece on a lot of the stuff that I do right now. It's not like I said, I'll work for you, but I get, you know, 10 or 20 or 50% of everything you make. I don't do that. I'm like, I don't care. I want you to make lots of money. I can make my own money. So that's fine. And you get a lot of help along the way. And again, that goes back to giving much more than you expect to receive. But when you come into a TuberChat live stream, for instance, or especially on my personal channel, and you see how many people come just for the sake of supporting, the music channel is another example. The people who come just to support me in a thank you for the things that they feel I've done for them, you know, this is what I wish for everybody. If you give much more than you expect to receive, you see it come back. Right? So I know it's hard when you have to look at other people's channels and you wonder, hey, I do the same as them, or I do better than them, and why is my video that's better than their video not flying? We don't get to pick. We just don't. And it's too bad. And eventually for your own channel, your human element, whether it comes through in your videos or not, is behind the scenes and will eventually direct your channel. And I promise you, luck will come by if you're just consistent.
I guess Bobby Loves Beauty saying it's hard for me to tell the difference between people who are trying to pretend to help me to ruin my channel, people who are actually being genuine to you. Just can't tell at the beginning.
That's understandable, right? So, we wish everybody would be of the same mentality, like positive and motivating and helping each other and things like that. And it's unfortunate, but jealousy is absolutely a thing in the world, right? And you will see the dynamic of your audience change as time goes on, and everybody's going to be a little bit different. But what you will find, I believe, is that when you hit 1,000 subscribers, things will change a little bit. When you get monetized, things will change a little bit, especially if you've passed a couple of people, and especially if they've helped you. Because even though we don't want to do it, we don't want to be jealous. It is like in human nature for a lot of people to let's say, be that way. I'm not saying that's always it, but it can be something. But TubaChat itself, that channel was inspired by the generosity that I saw in the people that I met in the small YouTuber community, Vern's Junk Closet, Hoops Family Network, and many others that came along, Wanston and Leo from House of X and others. And, some of those people I don't talk to so often anymore. You could go by their channel and say, hey, I haven't seen you in 6 months, but hope you're doing well. And they do wish well for you. But we all get busy as well. So we don't want to confuse it with that. But I was inspired by the generosity that I saw in other creators. And because I have marketing in my blood, I was born with the idea of like being able to, let's say, get people to do things, right? Like, so when I run a nightclub, I can get people to show up on Wednesday and manipulate that situation, but always for the good, never to take advantage. You know what I mean? And there's lots of generous people out there who are really willing to help each other and understand that we don't have to take away from each other to help each other. If I can help anybody indirectly get, 10,000 subscribers from TuberChat, they are going to turn around by nature. And when people ask them how they did it, they will say TuberChat is something that you need to follow. Not that that's what it was that did it, but it's a part of it. And therefore, I will continue to grow. So the more I genuinely help, the more will come back to me. Now, I'm able to articulate and express this consciously, but there are a lot of people out there who feel the same way, believe the same way. They have it in their blood. They have it in their heart, even though they don't have to say it every day like I do. I don't, I go out and I say, I want to help you. I want to get you to get whatever you want. I don't blame anybody for being let's say, skeptical or suspicious. I'm suspicious of everybody all the time. I always feel like, I'm not going to be surprised when anybody turns on you, let's just say. But it's not because they are. It's because you just want to be prepared. But I promise you, there are a lot of good people out there. And if you just keep putting yourself out and, try not to hold back, be careful, but try not to hold back. But if you do, I promise you will draw in like-minded people. And you will gain people who not only will you call them family, but you will hear, see, and feel the fact that they believe you are their family. That's one of the most heartwarming things. You know what I mean? When Vern's Junk Closet says to everybody, hey, TuberChat is my YTBFF, she said that first. And can you imagine what that was like for me? This is the woman who, almost more than anybody else inspired me to make TuberChat into a thing. If it wasn't for meeting her, TuberChat wouldn't exist. And then she turns around and says, Kevin is my family. That's, wonderful. And I promise there's so much more of that out there. We just all need to find each other. And then, everybody will be unstoppable. Obviously, we see it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, forgive me. I know I get passionate about this stuff, but I really believe that, right?
I agree with you. I have to say that I found some very, very supportive people within TuberChat. I mean, I've been to other places, and not to say that I haven't met people from outside of there, but within TuberChat, you see everybody every week. Everybody's there. Everybody's supportive. We constantly go back and forth. I mean, half the people are here. There's new faces, but half the people are here. I mean, I just think that we truly, are friends. We, go to each other's channels. We are commenting. We are viewing. When somebody has problems with their hours, we're trying to help each other out. I mean, even on TubaChat, we've got Chef Andre Davy. We were like, come on, we got to get him past that 1,000. I mean, it's just like we're all cheering each other on, which is good. All learning from each other, because a lot of us will tell each other, little tips, and oh, you shouldn't try this because of this. You still got to take constructive criticism, because sometimes you need that,
Of course.
and it's like, but it's just to help you grow.
So I love to tell a story just because you touched on something there. When my personal channel was getting close to 1,000 subscribers, I have to try to remember this story now. I think I had 946. I've told the story a million times, right? So a friend of mine, Happy Lux, right? And we talked about this earlier. He runs a growth stream. He's been doing it for a long, long time. And when I first met him in another growth stream, we immediately just kind of connected, and we're drawn to each other and this and that. He's become a dear friend now. But he would say to me, for instance, I'd say when are you going to do a live stream? I'd message him on Facebook and say, when's the next stream? He's like, when do you want me to do one? I'll do one whenever you're available, which I couldn't believe, right? I'm like, wow, this is an unbelievably nice person for this, right? I know I'm a nice guy, but still, when people are nice to each other, I love it. Then when I got to 946 subscribers, I went into his live stream, and a couple of girls who were in there took the whole time off. They didn't work on their channels at all. All they did was, hey, everybody, get Kevin Kaye up, get Kevin Kaye up. We got to get him to 1,000. And I forget how high they got me over 70 subscribers in an hour and a half, which you can't do that now because YouTube will take it all and this and that. I don't think that can be done now. That's why you don't see me try to do that on TuberChat. We have Thrill Seeks is getting very close. He's only got 20 or 30 subscribers left to go, but you don't see me push because I don't want him to get it and lose it. I want it solid, like we always do everything. But at the time, because it was a little bit different, we were able to do that in a live stream. And you can imagine the emotional feeling that you get. These people, I never saw them before today. And they're helping me. They spent an hour and a half out of their life that they can't get back working on my channel, not theirs. And it's that kind of generosity that I keep coming back to. I promise there's more and more and more people out there, and we just need to keep drawing in like-minded people. TuberChat is designed that people who don't like it and can't put up with the way that I want to do things will not stay. It was designed that way. This is why we're able to have so many people that are like-minded and that truly do support each other, because there are simple little things involved and have been along the way where people who are not of the same mentality will not stay for a very long time. They might stay for a day, they might stay for 2, they might even stay for a week, but eventually they will disappear. And it's not that I ever want people, I don't want you in my live stream. It's not that. It's that I want everybody to be able to get value out of the time that they spend with me or in TuberChat. And so therefore it's designed so that the people of the right mindset will come together. This is why I can just start a channel anytime I want and say, well, I know I'm going to be able to monetize this channel in less than a year because I've already done it and we already have the audience. So and forgive me because I know I'm going on, but here's another thing that I haven't mentioned, I don't mention enough. TuberChat was built so that we, meaning you, not just Michelle, everybody watching this right now, everybody who's going to watch the replay and come across this, you, me, and everybody we care about can start as many channels as we want, and they will all fly faster than the last one because we already have the audience. We already have the community. What will happen when Makeup Mom and Son says, I'm going to start another channel? Or guess what? My son has a channel and we need to get this going. How long is it going to take you to get your first 100 subscribers compared to what it took when you started your first channel? The biggest channel I run now with 14,000 subscribers or close to it took 6 months to get the first 100 subscribers. 6 months. Can you imagine that? And now we are happy to know that we can monetize channels through, let's say, the TuberChat system with a little bit of organic help in 3 months. If somebody has the time, if you could put a full-time effort into it, you could do it that fast, right? But haven't we come a long way? And that's what it was built for, not just for me, for us. Anybody can come in and use this. I want everybody to get whatever they want out of YouTube. But if you want to start 15 channels, I mean, you got to do it right, but you can. Why couldn't you start a channel a year? That's basically the idea. If you notice what I've done, I've started a channel a year. And that was the idea that I had from 4 or 5 years ago when this started. I said, I'm going to have 10 channels, but I'm going to do them one at a time because I'm not in a race. I'm going to be here anyway. So everybody can do that. That's what I just wish for everybody to get what they want. You don't have to want the same things that I do. You don't even have to agree with 99% of what I say. TuberChat is a utility. That's what it's meant for all of us to go in, use, grow, and I hope you have fun while you're doing it. That's all.
No, I've been telling a bunch of people about you. I even, like, Kenneth is one of my mods here too, and I keep on telling him, Kenneth, you just have to know, you don't have to talk to everybody, but just, you can pick and choose who you want to talk to, who you want to become friends with.
Absolutely.
He likes a specific genre, and it's like, hey, that's fine. We're gonna find different people on TuberChat. I joke with everybody. I'm a city girl, and I now know how to ice fish. In theory, I know how to plant a garden and milk a cow. So it's like finding so many things.
It's incredible the things that we can learn from each other. And I joke with people about that too. I say 99% of the channels I follow now, the thousands of channels, have less than 10,000 subscribers. But I love the things that I learn from everybody. I enjoy watching cooking videos from people in the TuberChat community who I otherwise never would have searched for. Yeah. And even Tiffany Wears T-shirts make jokes with me about how many makeup channels I'm involved with now. And a lot of that came from Bobby Loves Beauty, but as well from Tiffany Wears T-shirts and other makeup channels as well. But yeah, I do, but it's because I'm supporting the creator and because of the community around them. You know what I mean? And it's incredible the things that we learn, even if we're never going to do it. I never expect to use makeup for any reason in my life, for me or anybody else. But it's still interesting to watch. It's still interesting to know how this stuff. I wouldn't have known how much work goes into all this stuff if not for some of the things we've seen. I can watch Kristen do her makeup, or even her, my stepdaughter now, Kira, does her makeup, but I'm not going to be able to see the same things that I see from different people. Not that I'm not that interested in makeup. I'm just saying, right? I find all of it interesting now.
You know so much about makeup now that I want to see you guys do a video. Because you probably do a spot-on job.
Oh yeah, you can imagine. I'm sure I'd make a disaster out of that.
I want to see that video.
Yeah. We'll keep it in mind.
Yes. I think that would be funny. Yes, Team Goodman said yes, Night Star Beauty. She's got a beautiful channel.
Yes, absolutely. I speak highly of that. She happens to have a pro camera, which is great, but her editing skills are great as well, and her presentation. She is a dynamic creator as well. I know I use that word a lot, but it's true. Most of us who are putting ourselves in front of a camera instinctively have that. Everybody doesn't have to sound the same. You don't have to look at somebody and say they have charisma or they have, they're a dynamic personality. A lot of us are that way in many different ways that can't even be explained, right? You just see it, you just know it,
Yes. Now, we're over 2 hours now, you guys, so we're probably going to wrap this up in a minute. I want to thank Kevin for coming by, being my first interview.
Thank you so much. I love this stuff. It doesn't stop,
I do want to let everybody know in the chat, if you are interested, I am looking for other people to go ahead and interview and just talk about the channel. I do have somebody who, one of my coworkers, her cousin does. She's more Twitch, TikTok, and Discord. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to have her up on the channel because I know there's a lot of people here within YouTube that are interested about TikTok, Twitch, and Discord, how that works. So I'm going to bring her on, and she's going to be one of my interviews too. So this way everybody gets a different perspective.
That's a great idea, yes, because we can probably draw inspiration from that as well in many different ways.
Yeah, so I thought she was a little nervous. I was like, no, I know we're different areas. I think a lot of people will be interested, and they could go to you and and be friends there because you could help them when they're over on that end.
Right.
So,
Yep. Makes sense. Makes sense.
yeah, I think so. But no, I'm looking for. I got a few other people that are coming up for interviews. So
Very
I'm
good.
ready to DM me on Instagram. Let me know what dates work for you guys, and this way, get more people get some information from about channels and and little tips and tricks about stuff. That's a tongue twister for me.
Yeah.
I tell you, my New York accent sometimes gets to me. Only when I say so.
Well, thank you for this. I've had a great time. I knew that we would do well because, like I said, we already have a rapport. We already known each other well enough. And you've already done a few live streams, which, like I said, already did spectacularly. I would not have expected you to be on for 4 hours or 8 hours. So I knew we'd have a good time here.
Yeah, I did. It took me so long to get onto my first live. Everybody said, you could do it. You could do it. It's like, no. Now nobody's going to stop me.
Good, good.
But no, thank you so much for coming by. I'm going to go ahead also. The links have been dropped during the live, but I'll go ahead and put it in the description too. So everybody
thank you for that.
Go to your channels and, get connected and meet some good friends.
Yeah. Are you doing a raid right now? Do you have anybody that you're planning on raiding or no? I should have asked you earlier, no?
Oh, I don't know who's going on live.
Yeah, we should see if there's anybody that's on right now. That's one thing I used to forget often, but I try to remember to raid somebody almost every day. Once in a while, I'll keep one for myself on TubaChat and send, over to the music channel or something like that. But where possible, I like to give the raids away because you know that they come back to you as well. Again, that's another thing that goes back to giving much more than you expect to receive. Look at Makeup Mom and Son. She got raided 3 times on her first live stream, which is unheard of. I've never heard of that.
Oh, I couldn't believe it myself. I'm trying to see who's on live now and see. Well, I know we could go over if one of the mods are still here. If you could drop the music channel, we could go head over there.
That's always running. So yeah, anybody can go over there anytime. And unless if Scratch and Pete knows somebody as well that's on. I'm not looking right now, but if Scratch and Pete, he's probably able to grab somebody that we can raid as well. Yeah,
I'm looking too. I know that Janetti's Corner, but she's doing something later on her channel.
House of X will be on in an hour.
Yeah, that's going to be in about an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, but thank you, everybody, especially for engaging the conversation. I really do appreciate it. I love opportunities like this. If you don't mind, I should plug as well. Tomorrow, I'm going to do another one of these with Have Cheetah Will View. It's just a one-time thing that I'm doing, like 2 interviews back-to-back like this, but it's because it had all come up at once. So I just wanted to, we want to accommodate everybody's schedules and things like that. So tomorrow, right after TuberChat, I'll do one of these again, and it'll be different because Have Cheetah Will View will obviously have a different dynamic in the conversation, right?
Hey, Sam, I think Artfully Blind with Diana, she's live right now.
There you go. Michael's Adventures just dropped that link. So thank you for that. Thank you, Scratch and PPA, for reminding, for dropping the music channel again. But Michael's Adventure says Artfully Blind with Diana, and she's a member of the TuberChat community as well. Yeah.
So we could go raid her after. Yeah. But remember, anybody that is interested in becoming to be interviewed can come up my live. Definitely go ahead and leave me a message on Instagram or Twitter. It is Makeup Mom and Son, and I will go ahead and contact you back, and we'll set up a date so we can get everybody up and everybody become friends. So
good stuff. Thank you so much again for having me here. I will hop down. You can do your exit with everybody, and I'll see you over with Artfully Blind with Diana. We'll raid her for Michelle, and hopefully we'll see everybody on TuberChat soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Yes, thank you everybody for coming in. Um, I'm so happy. I was so nervous. I was like, what questions am I going to ask? I'll get a little bit more relaxed as I go and do some more interviews. But definitely, it doesn't matter what type of channel you are. I'm doing interviews for different people. So just Instagram me on Instagram or Twitter and just let me know and we will get you all scheduled. So, but I thank everybody for stopping by, for watching. We are going to go ahead and go raid Artfully Blind with Diana. So when you get there, just say Makeup Mom and Sun Raid. And this way she knows that you came from my channel. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, fabulous day. I will see you on my next video. Oh, I am going to be doing my 500 subscriber giveaway video tomorrow. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you know, because I'm giving away a bunch of goodies. So thank you everybody for stopping by. I hope everybody connected. And I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.